Hello everyone, myself Assistant Professor Moshmi Saraf from KBP Degree College Thane. Today, one of my students from TYBBI class, Mayank, will be presenting on the topic of Untold Stories of Undivided India.
Introduction. Many leaders of all religions sacrificed their life for an independent India. Their dream came true on 15th August 1947 when India got its independence. But after independence, India was in a difficult state. With the massive exchange of population with Pakistan, the Indo-Pakistani War of 1971, and the integration of 500 princely states to form a united nation. After independence, these 500 princely states had three options: accession with India, accession with Pakistan, or remain independent. There were many princely states which are part of India now but refused to be a part of India after the independence, but were later integrated in India. These princely states are as follows. First, Travancore Princely State. Travancore Princely State was located on the south tip of India, which is now a part of Kerala. Travancore Princely State was ruled by the Travancore royal family. Travancore was the first princely state that refused to join India. In the year 1946, the Minister of Travancore, Ramaswamy Iyer, proclaimed to create Travancore as an independent nation. Under the leadership of Tirunal Balarama Varma, King of Travancore from 1924 to 1949, Travancore was very socially and economically developed, because of which, even under British rule, Travancore was the second wealthiest princely state of India. Travancore, being a princely state situated on the south coast of India, was very wealthy in natural and human resources. Some political leaders of the Muslim League provoked Travancore to not join India after the independence. During the end of July 1947, a member of the Kerala Socialist Party tried to assassinate King Tirunal Varma, due to which later on 30th July 1947, King Tirunal Varma agreed on Travancore to join India and later was integrated in India. Second, Junagadh Princely State. Junagadh Princely State was located in Saurashtra on the western coast of India, which is now a part of Gujarat. During the time of independence, under the leadership of Nawab Mahawat Khan, Junagadh had a majority of the Hindi population. But at the Muslim League's behest, the minister of Junagadh, Allah Baksh, was replaced with Shahnawaz Bhutto, grandfather of Benazir Bhutto, the former Prime Minister of Pakistan. The newly appointed minister, Shahnawaz Bhutto, started pressurizing the Nawab Mahawat Khan. Under this pressure, Nawab Mahawat Khan on 14th August 1947 declared to join Junagadh with Pakistan. Reciprocating this, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel sent the Indian army led by Guru Dayal Singh to Mangarore and Babariawad, two major provinces of Junagadh, and captured them. Till November 1947, the whole princely state of Junagadh was captured by the Indian army. This decision by V.P. Menon and Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel was very unsettling for Lord Mountbatten, the former Governor General of India. To restore order, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel proposed to have a referendum from the public of Junagadh on whether Junagadh should join India or Pakistan. This resulted in more than 90% of people wanting Junagadh to join India. So on 20th February 1948, Junagadh was integrated into India and Mahawat Khan fled to Pakistan. Third, Bhopal Princely State. Bhopal Princely State was the last province that joined India. The Nawab of Bhopal, Hamidullah Khan, ruled Bhopal, Shihor, and Raisin provinces. So Bhopal Princely State was established in 1723-24 by Muhammad Khan. To prevent Bhopal to join India, Muhammad Ali Jinnah, the former Governor General of Pakistan, offered Nawab Hamidullah the post of Secretary General in Pakistan. But Nawab Hamidullah also wanted to rule Bhopal, so he requested his daughter Abida to become his successor so Habibullah can become the Secretary General of Pakistan. But Abida refused his offer. Habibullah Khan became the Nawab of Bhopal in 1926. He graduated from Aligarh University and was the Chancellor of the Chamber of Princes in 1931 and 1944. On March 1948, Habibullah Khan declared to make Bhopal an independent nation. In the next month, Habibullah made a committee with the government of Bhopal. But VP Menon and Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel pressurized Nawab Habibullah to join India. So, on 30th April 1949, Nawab Habibullah Khan signed the Instrument of Accession to the Dominion of India on 1st June 1949. The Bhopal Princely State became the part of India. Kashmir Princely State. Kashmir Princely State was ruled by King Hari Singh, who was a Hindu, but Kashmir had a Muslim majority of people. After separation of India and Pakistan, King Hari Singh declared to make Kashmir an independent nation. But this decision of King Hari Singh was later proven wrong because after the declaration of Kashmir as an independent nation on 20th October 1947 by the orders of Muhammad Ali Jinnah, Pakistani soldiers uh, disguised as Kabyle pirates were sent to Kashmir. They started looting, raping, and murdering people and destroying villages and were heading towards East Kashmir. To restore peace and order, King Hari Singh sought urgent help from Jawaharlal Nehru, the Prime Minister of India at that time. On 26 October 1947, a peace agreement was signed by India and Pakistan in which the Defence, Foreign Affairs and Commission of Kashmir will be managed by India. Later, Kashmir acceded India, but till this day, Kashmir is stuck in the middle of India and Pakistan. Hyderabad Princely State. Hyderabad Princely State was situated in the Deccan Plateau, was very rich in terms of resources. At this time, at the time of India, at the time of independence, it was ruled by Nizam Osman Ali Khan. According to a British newspaper, the independence, the Nizam, the Nizam Osman had around $236 billion worth of property, 5 times more than what Mukesh Ambani has today. Hyderabad Princely State cons- consisted of more than 85% of Hindus, but the military and the government were dominated by Muslims. Even under British rule, Hyderabad had its own army, railway, and postal services at that time. It was a very rich state in terms of population and gross domestic product. The geographical region of Hyderabad was greater than the Gulfs of England and Scotland. Nizam Osman had plans of turning the Hyderabad Princely State into an independent nation, but he was a mere puppet in the hands of the British leaders and the Pakistani government. Muhammad Ali Jinnah promised Nizam Osman to provide military assistance when needed and asked him not to give in on the military actions of India and stick with the demand of forming an independent nation. Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel saw Hyderabad, an independent nation, as a cancer in India. Lord Mountbatten and Jawaharlal Nehru also wanted Hyderabad to join the domain of India peacefully, but Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel wanted to take military actions against Hyderabad. Between this time, Muhammad Ali Jinnah expired, the person that provoked Hyderabad to demand the status of an independent nation. Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel decided to take advantage of this situation by the means of police action. The Indian police carried out Operation Polo to conquer the regions of Hyderabad. The operation that lasted 5 days from 13 September to 17 September 1948. The operation was called Operation Polo because at that time, Hyderabad had the most number of polo grounds in the world. On the fifth day, The Nizam of Hyderabad, Usman Ali Khan, surrendered and agreed to merge Hyderabad into India and signed the Instrument of Accession Agreement. 6. Goa. While India was free from British rule on 14 August 1947, Goa was languished under 450 years of oppos- oppressive Portuguese rule. After 1947, the freedom struggle for Goa in, intensified, but was met with the brute force of then Portuguese government under a dictator Antonio Salazar. On 19th December 1961, about 60 years ago, Goa got its freedom. It all started on 18th June 1946 when Indian freedom fighter and socialist Ram Manohar Lohia launched a movement for civil liberties. While he was arrested by the Portuguese and expelled from Goa, he had lit the spirit of freedom among young Goans. Journalists, revolutionaries, satyagrahis, and even film artists fought for Goa's freedom. On 2nd May 1954, Lata Mangeshkar sang at a concert in Pune. The money collected by it was used to fund ammunition to fight the Portuguese. There were great expectations from the Indian government, but Portugal was the part of the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, and a young Indian nation was not ready to take on a NATO nation. But across India, the clamor of a free Goa got stronger. On 13th June 1955, the Jang Sangh decided to intervene. Jagannath Rao Joshi, an RSS member and Jang Sangh leader of Karnataka, volunteered to lead. The plan was to carry out a series of satyagraha from June to August 1955. On 15 June 1955, satyagrahis entered Goa at Sawantwadi in small boats, but they were arrested, beaten, and tortured. Under 2 months later, Undeterred, 2 months later, on 15th August 1955, 8,000 people from all over the country marched into Goa. This time, the Portuguese opened fire, killing 32 satyagrahis. It was the bloodiest day in the history of the liberation of Goa. Over the next 6 years, Goan patriots relentlessly targeted the Portuguese government. In November 1961, Portuguese provoked India by shooting a steamer and killing a fisherman. The then Defence Minister V.K. Krishna Menon prevailed upon Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru to launch Operation Vijay. On 17 December 1961, a 30,000 first strong force invaded, and it was just 48 hours ago. Line वापस बोलता हूँ मैं. On 17 December 1961, a 30,000 strong first invaded, and it was just 48 hours, Goa was free. To conclude this, when the British fled India, they left it torn into pieces. And this is how the political leaders of India, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, P.P. Menon, Jawaharlal Nehru, Mahatma Gandhi, Lal Bahadur Shastri, Subhash, Subhash Chandra Bose, and many more brought India together as we know it today. The references of this PPT are as follows. Thank you.